This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The momentum from last night was alley-ooped and slam dunked into the trash can. Good evening. Welcome to the Baltimore Orioles postcast. It is Saturday, June 28th. My name is Luke Slabaugh, and I'm your post-game show host for the Baltimore Orioles after every game this season. As always, we are streaming live on demand on YouTube. You can find us next day when this video is published and wherever you get your podcasts for free. If you're tuning in the car, dropping off the kids, traveling across the country, want to say hi? I'm Luke. I'm your friend. An example of how the pendulum swings in baseball. This is a funny game, and sometimes it is cruel and relentless. From one night scoring 22 runs to barely eking across one in the fifth and then getting some in garbage time, the O's have met two extremes in the span of 24 hours. Final score tonight, the Tampa Bay Rays 11 and the Baltimore Orioles 3. And tonight we have to start by talking about the latest casualty on the Baltimore Orioles pitching staff, and that is the tale of Zack Eflin.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Through batting practice, that is what Zack Eflin has done the last 3 starts. He's looked really bad coming back from that shoulder injury, and we got some bad news about the potential injuries that Eflin might be pitching through right now. But top of the first, from the jump, before you can say Cal Ripken bobblehead, things went south in a hurry. Josh Lowe leads off the game with a double to center field, a cutter off the plate at 90 miles an hour. Brandon Lau hits a sinker up the middle at 92 miles an hour. Lowe scores. It is quickly 1-0. Cedric Mullins then airmails the throw from center field, completely misses the cutoff man, Ryan O'Hearn, which allows Lau to advance to second base. 1 out later, Eflin grooves a fastball at 94 down the middle to Jonathan Aranda. No amazing movement to this, no deception whatsoever, and it is blasted onto Utah Street, hammered. 467 off the bat onto Utah Street, the third longest home run at Camden Yards in the last 10 years. 3-0 in a matter of pitches. Junior Caminero and Jake Mangum then feast on a sweeper at 80 and a sinker at 90 off the plate, respectively, for singles. And so, with 1 out, Chandler Simpson steps up to the plate, limited hit tool, a chance for Zack Eflin to get out of this inning, which is almost certainly wasted.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
In retrospect, this is the point where the O's lost the game because they eke across a couple of runs in garbage time in the bottom of the 9th inning. They score 3 runs. So up 3-0, the Tampa Bay Rays have Chandler Simpson up, 1 out, runners at the corners. Simpson hits a bouncing ball to Ryan O'Hearn at first base. He's playing in, fires to Gunnar Henderson, the shortstop, covering second base for 1 out. And Gunnar, he's sliding across the bag. He's shuffling his feet. He's about to throw a rocket to first. And Zack Eflin is not at the bag in time. No throw. You can make the argument that Chandler Simpson is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, position player in Major League Baseball. Maybe he beats that throw, and there's a strong probability that he does. However, Caminero comes in to score. It's 4-0. Simpson then able to take off early for second base. Eflin, pickoff move attempt, steps off the rubber, tries to throw to Gunnar Henderson at second base, and the throw is a little bit low, a little bit off the mark. Throws it into center field for a throwing error, and Simpson able to advance to third. Common thread in tonight's game was the sloppiness. Zack Eflin can't throw to second base. Cedric Mullins airmailing a cutoff man. Chadwick Trump can't throw out Simpson on a stolen base attempt in the top of the 4th. Airmailed it into center field. Another error. He would score to start another 4-run rally in the top of the 4th. All of this is avoidable, but those 2 errors in particular, and some of the mental errors that we'll talk about in the second block, this team had a case of the hangovers. and it was kind of obvious. Eflin is lifted after 1 inning, and the O's cite lower back tightness. First thought that comes to mind is all our lower backs are kind of tight watching this, right? Leaning forward, asking ourselves, how can this happen? The problem is with Zack Eflin, this game is not existing in a vacuum. This has been 3 starts in a row now where he has just been smited. 9 innings pitched over these 3 outings, an ERA of 17.00, a walks and hits per innings pitched, or whip, of 3.44, and 6 home runs allowed. At this rate, he would be giving Bert Blyleven a run for his money, going for that single season record of 50 taters given up. I think back to a former youth baseball coach that I had during travel ball. He would constantly hound the pitchers when they were trying to throw strikes, deliver, get the most momentum they could behind a pitch, throw to the mound, to pull through their backside. Now, my older brother of 5 years and my dad sitting in the crowd would laugh. The word backside being thrown out dozens of times during a 15U travel baseball team game, tournaments, etc., in Illinois, Missouri, what have you. And they'd make jokes about it. And with a lower back injury, Zack Eflin cannot pull through his backside effectively. That's the last time I'm going to say that word. But he doesn't have that extension towards home plate. And Ben McDonald said as much on the Masson broadcast. So no wonder there's a lot of juice left off these pitches and not a lot of mystery or break to some of Eflin's better offerings. Of course he's getting torched. What would be heartbreaking is to find out that Eflin has either been pitching through pain and lower back injuries intentionally, something with his hamstring, lower back, glutes, or the O's are encouraging him to do just that. Either one of those aren't very push and pee of you guys. Ugh. Make matters worse, right-hander Scott Bluett takes over. He can't make it out of the 4th inning in relief duty. Can't throw strikes for the 2nd consecutive outing. Career high 56 pitches for Bluett. He certainly tried and got off to a good start there in the 2nd and 3rd innings with scoreless frames, but you could tell the fatigue was getting to him. Gave up a single to Lowe, then walked Lau in the top of the 4th. Yandy Diaz then hammered a slow slider to dead center. 427, the tape measure on that, and it is quickly 8-0. We already mentioned Chandler Simpson scoring earlier in that inning after the Chadwick Tromp error. Bluett walks 3, Cade Stroud picking him up walks 1, and Gregory Soto walking 2. The O's and Tony Mansolino, the interim manager, then waved the white flag. It is up to Luis Vazquez to pitch the 8th and the 9th inning, and wouldn't you know it, his 2nd outing as an Oriole, down 11-1. He gives up a few hits, then turns double plays to get out of both the 8th and the 9th inning. So 3 innings pitched as an Oriole, Vazquez has turned 3 double plays and has an ERA of 0. Goose egg. We'll talk a little bit about the offense. Left a lot to be desired, especially going up against right-hander Zach Littell, a starter whom they beat down in Tampa. And we'll really quickly preview the rubber game tomorrow. And that's all coming up after this break. That Iron Man bobblehead looked pretty cool. Saw some people dressing up for the game. We love that. And if you want to get in on that action, Gametime is the app for you. You can save money on tickets. You can splurge on food then, allocate money however you want. And Gametime makes it possible. Prices on the app actually dip closer to game time, closer to that first pitch. And there are incredible last minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for exciting games all across the board. Of course, the O's are about to go on a road trip to Arlington after this one, but when they're back, those giveaways, they look pretty darn cool. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB. That's all one word, LOCKEDONMLB, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What did the O's have cooking on offense tonight? Not much. Got started with the Tromp train finally pulling up into the outfield bleachers. Chadwick Tromp catching today. Gary Sanchez, the designated hitter. And Tromp hits an opposite field home run off of right-hander Zach Littell. 87-mile-an-hour slider into the right field stands, made it a, sadly, 9-1 ball game. It's Tromp's first home run since 2021 and puts a nice little spin on this 2-for-4 game that Tromp had. He reaches base 3 times. There was a fielding error by Taylor Walls a couple innings prior to the ninth, in which Tromp was able to reach base. Pretty well done. And yeah, raises that batting average to a cool 150. But these at-bats, of course, are imperative for a fringe minor league AAA quad A catcher. Adley Rutschman expected to be out until after the All-Star break, gives him time to recover. And the O's definitely have some much needed rest coming up. Got to see Kobe Mayo in pinch hit duty, subbed in for Ryan O'Hearn in the bottom of the ninth against left-hander Joe Rock. Hits a single in Rock's major league debut, and then leave it to Ramon Laureano to crank a slider over the left field wall. That new Camden Yards left field wall paying dividends. A 2-run bomb for Laureano, his 10th of the season, and gave us the final score that we see now at 11-3. Jackson Holiday with a 3-for-5 day after going 1-for-7 last night in that 22-run romp. He hits 2 singles to the opposite field and then 1 up the middle. A little nitpick in the bottom of the third. He singles to Chandler Simpson in center field and sees the somewhat lackadaisical approach of him not charging in and just taking it off the ground, scooping it up. The throw from Simpson beats Holiday well to the bag at second. The tag was applied enough in time, and Holiday kind of looked the fool there, trying to extend a single to a double, especially when you're trailing 4-0. It's just a situational awareness thing for the game. Had a leadoff single to start the bottom of the first as well. So the O's didn't have to worry about getting no hit this time around. But that lack of situational awareness really rings true. A game where the O's found themselves in a 4-0 hole from Jump Street, and they never really found their footing. We are 82 games into the season, so bemoaning this and talking about this really feels like a broken record at this point. Like, how many times have we seen the O's just kind of waffle and roll over when they fall behind by so many runs? That was what was refreshing about last night, is because the answer is almost always. I think even to something as simple as Cedric Mullins leading off the bottom of the 8th against Joe Rock. Awesome baseball name. Left-hander, not pitching particularly well at AAA for the Rays. And so his first major league pitch, you've got to at least see what he's got. You have not scouted this man thoroughly. I guarantee you the O's have not, and particularly Mullins. He rolls over on the first pitch for an out. How many times does that happen? Your first major league pitch is a non-competitive plate appearance. There was really nothing going for Mullins there. It just felt like in some of the ways that the O's approach this, business decisions might have been made. Even Mullins. Runners on base and kind of casually trotting to fly balls. Catching them, sure, but it just felt like the juice has been taken out of this team. Make matters worse, general manager Mike Elias is talking to the media pregame and saying, we're still trying to figure out, preparing for both scenarios where we're buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. You're sellers. You're sellers. And maybe we look back on this episode in 4 weeks and I look the fool. But no, not with days like today. Ramon Urias getting called out, a strikeout on a pitch timer violation, not aware, not set facing the pitcher with 8 seconds left on the clock. That's the rule. This is bottom of the 6th, and he's leading off the inning It's a 3-2 count. And yes, he's off by a fraction of a second, and the home plate umpire, Adam Beck, probably would have been better served to let this one slide, have some feel for the game. However, this is situational awareness. Like, this is your day-to-day regiment as a baseball player, is to know the rules and to play by the rules and compete. And it was just not competitive. And yeah, Ramon's mad. He throws his bat in the dugout in the clubhouse, and he's, waving that luscious locks of his. But man, that was just rough. Tomorrow, it's right-hander Taj Bradley on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's 5-5 with a 4.57 ERA. You might remember him as the guy who only made it 4-5 outs into that 8-0 lead that the O's had down in Tampa, the infamous 12-8 game. If he's lacking command like he did last time out, this bodes well for the O's and for right-hander Dean Kramer. He's 6-7 with a 4.60 ERA. Very cool outing for Dean at Yankee Stadium last time out. 1 earned run in 5 2/3. That's a 135 first pitch on Masson. This has been the Baltimore Orioles postcast. My name is Luke Slabaugh. The final score tonight, the Tampa Bay Rays 11 and the Baltimore Orioles 3. Good night, stay safe, and I will see you right back here tomorrow night.